take something away from here that is helpful to you, or maybe you didn't know about, or maybe you'll just be reminded of something that you already knew. It's just, I know we're not maybe all currently working moms, but we've all kind of been there on a lot of the stuff that this article talks about. So it really hit home with me, and I think this is kind of an explanation of why we as women feel so overwhelmed and so insufficient and so just we're constantly drowning. So I'm going to start off with just quickly reading through this. It'll take about 5 minutes, but I think we can all find something in this article that we kind of can relate to, or that we kind of can feel a connection with. So here's a small list of what society tells working moms. Go back to work 6 to 8 weeks after having the baby. That baby that you spent 9 to 10 months growing inside of your body. Go back to work before you finished healing or had the time to bond with your baby. Keep your mind on work and not your tiny helpless baby that's being watched and cared for by someone other than you. Make sure you break the glass ceiling and excel at your job. You can do anything a man can do. It's your job to show the world that women can do it all. So rise to the top of your career. Also breastfeed for at least a year. So take 2 to 3 pumping breaks at work every day, but don't let it throw off your game, or don't let it let you lose your focus. Also lose that baby weight and get back in shape as quickly and gracefully as possible. Make sure to get 8 hours of sleep at night so you can work out, work, and care for your family, but also get up at 5 a.m. to work out, unless you want to do it after you get your kids to go to bed, when you also need to clean the house, get life ready for the next day, and sleep. How about that? Maintain a clean, Pinterest-worthy house. Take the Christmas lights down, recycle, be Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the birthday planner, the poop doula, the finder of lost things, the moderator of fights. Be fun, be firm, read books, have dance parties. Maintain a schedule for the entire family. Birthday parties coming up, make sure to have presents. Ensure the kids are learning to swim, play an instrument, read, ride a bike, be a good human being, eat vegetables, wear sunscreen, drink enough water, say please and thank you. Don't forget they need to dress as their favorite book character on Monday, wear something yellow on Thursday. Oh, it's totally your call, but most parents come in on their birthday and read to the entire class. In case nobody told you, if you have more than 1 kid, you will need to buy new shoes approximately every other day. See also winter coats, shorts, pants that aren't 4 inches too short. There will never be matching socks or gloves for any member of the family ever again. Remember the dog you got before you had kids? She's getting old now and needs expensive surgery. She also needs walking, a new bed, and she smells pretty bad. Kids need lots of doctor appointments. Monthly as babies, every time they're sick, specialist appointments, especially if any of them have extra needs, at least 2 school conferences a year, IEP meetings if applicable, parents' night, back to school, get to know your school. Most parents are volunteering at least once during the year. Would you like to come make a craft with the kids? It'll only be an hour or 2. Sorry, now you're out of vacation time because you used it all for taking your kids to appointments or when childcare is unavailable. You should go on vacations though. It's really good to relax and unwind from work. It makes you a better employee. Don't forget the kids need healthy meals, and so do you. You're trying to lose that last 20 pounds before the swim season, right? That requires meal planning, grocery shopping, meal prep on the weekend, but also hang out with your kids on the weekend, since during the school week you only get to hang out with them when they're exhausted and angry that you made the wrong kind of spaghetti for dinner. Date your spouse. It's important to keep your relationship fresh and alive. Try to go out 1 to 2 times a month. Good kid-free time. Hire a babysitter. They charge $22+ an hour, so make sure you take out an extra mortgage and or work another job to be able to afford this. Oh hey, you should have a hobby too. It's important that you have you time. Also, be well-read, keep up with the latest pop culture and TV shows, keep an eye on politics, be able to discuss one of all of the above on the small chance you're out in public and encounter another adult necessitating adult small talk. Make sure to have friends. Social time is so important. Surely there's an hour or 2 left in the week after all of the working, appointments, exercising, cooking, scheduling, cleaning, imparting lifelong morals and learning on the kids. Maybe go out after the kids are down for a glass of wine and a bite to eat. Make it a healthy bite though, as you may regret that wine at your 5:30 a.m. spin class. Self-care is so important though. You see the general doctor, dentist twice, lady doctor, chiropractor, probably need your eyes checked, full body skin checks, mental health too, postpartum anxiety, but you look fine and your kids are so cute. Everyone should have a therapist. Good luck finding one that takes your insurance and has hours outside of your normal working time. Out of vacation time, remember? That leaves evening time when you want to hang out with your kids, but it's important, so make time for it. Don't wear yoga pants and a long bun, or society is going to mock you in numerous witty blog posts. Never mind that nothing fits, you're going to have to get up even earlier so you have time to style your hair, wing your eyeliner, and search for a pair of pants that fits your new post-baby or multiple baby shape. And love every minute of it. Get off your phone, turn off the TV, and enjoy life. Enjoy your kids. These are the good times. Make sure to love every minute of life, because before you know it, this will all be in the past. Has anyone ever heard any of these things from society? We are so demanded of as women, and in a society where we're constantly being told that we as women, wives, mothers, business owners, need to live up to certain standards or certain expectations, is it any wonder why we feel so overwhelmed, so stressed out, manipulated, judged, controlled, insufficient, tired? We're being pulled in a million different directions. But let's face it, I don't know about you guys, but for me, chaos is not going to end anytime soon. It's just the season of life that I'm in. So for most of us, the chaos, the hustle, the bustle, the craziness is not going to end anytime soon. And we all know that our mom strikes never last for more than a day, so kind of ineffective. So the busy lifestyles are going to continue. So now we need to start asking ourselves, well, the busy lifestyles are going to continue. Holidays are going to happen, careers are going to happen, kids are going to have stuff for school, they need taken to their practices and taken to their things. So these things are going to continue no matter how much we wish we had a simpler life. So now we need to ask ourselves, assuming that very little changes on that end, we need to start asking, how do I better equip myself to thrive through even the most hectic and chaotic times in my life? So rather than trying to avoid the chaos, how do we make ourselves better so that we can show up better and better handle what's thrown at us in those chaotic times? So what we're going to talk about tonight is 8 steps or 8 areas of health that contribute to overall health. So these are kind of 8 independent things. All 8 together would give you a picture of total health or optimal health. You can choose to implement 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, even better, all 8. But don't feel like if I don't do all 8, I can't do any of them. You can walk away from here tonight with simple tips that you can implement tonight or tomorrow, and any of these things that you do are going to help enhance your health, are going to help increase your health, and put you in a better position to thrive through these tough and hectic seasons of life. So let's get started. First thing we're going to talk about is chiropractic. We're all here because we are chiropractic patients, so we're all living the chiropractic lifestyle, which is awesome. So chiropractic in and of itself is a very simple concept, and I think I'm kind of preaching to the choir on this one, but the most important thing to understand about chiropractic is that it deals with the health and the maintenance of your nervous system. So chiropractic is not just about back pain or neck pain or headaches or things like that. The nervous system is what's responsible for all the communication in the body. Communication in the body is what creates function in the body. So if we don't have communication, we can't have function. And that is all happening within the nervous system. So if there's interference to that communication, things aren't going to work like they should. So by keeping your spine in proper alignment, keeping that nervous system healthy and tuned up and clear of any interference, you're going to help ensure that that communication, that vital communication that's telling everything in your body how to function, is continuing to work as it was intended to work. You might be thinking to yourself, but I feel fine. Wouldn't I know if I had this interference going on in my body? Wouldn't it hurt? Wouldn't I feel something? You would think so, but that's not always the case. This interesting statistic that I always hear Dr. Thad tell people is that only 7% of the nerves in your body have the capacity to feel pain. Only 7% of the nerves in your body are sensory nerves, which means 93% of the nerves in your body are function. So if you're only waiting to come to the chiropractor or get your spine checked when you feel some kind of pain, you're only limiting yourself to about 7% of the time where there could be an actual issue. So 93% of the time, you may notice no pain, no sensation, no feeling like that at all, but you could still have interference to your nervous system. So that's just something important to remember. Pain is not an excellent indicator of a problem with the nervous system. So, in order to make sure that you are taking care of your spine can stay as healthy as possible, consistent chiropractic care is what we recommend, kind of as an ongoing part of a healthy lifestyle. Another thing to keep in mind, this is another interesting statistic. If a functioning nerve was being interfered with or being pinched, wouldn't you notice a decrease in function in your body? Wouldn't you start to feel like things are working? Well, yes, maybe eventually, but you can have up to a 40% decrease in nerve function before exhibiting any outward symptoms. So you might be thinking to yourself like, oh, if the nerve that goes to my digestive system is interfered with, I'm going to notice some digestive problems. Well, probably not right away. It takes you can have a decrease of function by up to 40% before those symptoms start to occur. So if you're waiting for symptoms to occur, once again, there's been a big portion of time where your body is not functioning as well as it could. So the consistency is what really gives your body the best chance at optimal function as much of the time as possible. So use chiropractic to your advantage. Just knowing these things may make you more inclined to stay consistent with your visits, just to give your body a better opportunity to optimize that function. So chiropractic is one of the main areas, or the first area of health that we're talking about tonight. So consider adding chiropractic to your weekly or bi-weekly agenda. Just work it into your schedule. Make it one of those things like going to the gym or going to the grocery store. If you just work it into your weekly or bi-weekly schedule, it doesn't seem like you're going out of your way to make it happen. It's just part of your normal day. Consider chiropractic when your body's fighting something. When you have a cold, or when kids are bringing stuff home from school, or when you just, when you feel like everyone around you is complaining about their allergies, or things like that. Use it to give yourself a boost. It never hurts to come in and have your nervous system checked, just to make sure that there's no interference or nothing, affecting how that nervous system is going to function. And then between chiropractic visits, work on things such as spinal stretches, postural exercises, things that will help enhance the integrity of your spine and really help to stabilize your spine and help make those adjustments even more beneficial by sort of retraining the structure and helping to create new, healthier patterns within your spine. Right. Number 2 is nutrition. So, nutrition can be very, very simple. It doesn't have to get complicated. In my busy lifestyle, I'm a keep it simple kind of person. So I try to focus on eating real foods, whole foods, things that are not processed, not packaged. Just, real food, stuff that you could grow in your garden, or stuff that you could grow, that could be grown on a farm, stuff you can get at the farmer's market. So without having to come up with extensive recipes, I keep my meals simple, meat, vegetables, salads, a little bit of grains here and there, things like that. Proteins and good quality veggies and fruits, good quality carbohydrates, paired with a little bit of with a little bit of grains will give you a full feeling, but you're going to get quality in that. And stuff like that can fit into any budget. You know, especially approaching this season where produce is like so abundant. You know, people can't give it away sometimes. So just thinking about healthier options can be just as convenient as grabbing, you know, some kind of snack bar or a bag of chips or something like that. It's just as easy to grab a piece of fruit or have some, you know, veggies cut up and ready to go in your fridge. So eating clean it's simple and it can be practical as well. Just avoiding certain things is helpful sometimes. So avoiding things like foods with excess sugars or foods with added flavors, especially artificial flavors, or foods that are highly processed. Some of them are very quick to prepare and accessible, but like we were just talking about, clean foods, simple foods can be accessible and easy as well. Eating well and understanding well-balanced nutrition doesn't have to be difficult, expensive, or time-consuming. One thing that I have found really helpful is using sites such as Pinterest or Tasty. They have very simple recipes. You can search anything you want. You know, if you prefer a keto lifestyle or a keto style of eating, go on Pinterest and search 30-minute keto recipes, and you'll get about 1,000 of them. There's so many options out there. We have such convenience now with those types of apps and websites that they just really make it easy and accessible to access information like that. And it's nice to like not be the one that always has to come up with the ideas. So just take other people's ideas, people that you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. People have great information out there, and it's just a matter of knowing what is good, what you want in your lifestyle, and accessing it. And oftentimes sites like that are an easy way to do it. Consider meal prepping. I don't do like full-on meal prepping, but I have found it helpful when I need to grab something on the go. If I have healthy stuff ready to go in my fridge that I can grab, then I don't have to, you know, try and find a place in town where I can get something healthy for lunch, or, you know, I don't have to come up with options on the fly if I already have that kind of thought about ahead of time. Another thing that I find important is familiarizing yourself with natural versus artificial ingredients. If anyone else is like me, I like to read the labels. I like to know what's in my food. So if it's not something that I'm growing or making or whatever myself, I at least like to know what's in it. Typically, kind of like a rule of thumb in my mind is the less ingredients, the better. Another one is if you can't pronounce the ingredients, it's probably not natural. But familiarize yourself with sometimes big words are kind of made that way to mask what the actual ingredient is. So a lot of the artificial sweeteners and artificial colors and flavorings and preservatives and things like that are, you know, have these big long scientific fancy names, and we maybe think like, oh, there's no artificial sweetener in this because I don't see the words artificial sweetener. So familiarize yourself with the names of things so that you can be sure when you're reading your labels, is this something I want to put in my body, or is this something that I'm going to opt out of? Any questions so far on anything? If you have any questions, just stop me. Oops. Okay, next we're going to move to hydration. So hydration. Why is hydration important to overall health? First thing that comes into my mind is that your body is mostly made up of water. So the fact that your body is made mostly of water should lead you to believe that your body requires a lot of water to continue those functions that it needs. So the water is really essential to complete so many processes within the body. It's necessary to digest food, transport nutrients, discard waste, dissipate heat, lubricate joints, deliver oxygen all over the body. It's a shock absorber. It regulates temperature. Your brain needs it to manufacture hormones and neurotransmitters. keeps your mucous membranes moist. It allows your body to replace its own cells, to grow and develop new cells. So hydration is more than just about having nice skin or not having headaches because you're not dehydrated. Your body actually needs water to do all these vital things. So if you're not getting the hydration you need, yeah, your body's still going to try and do what it needs to do, but it's not going to have the tools to do it as well as it would if you were providing it with the proper tools. So a rule of thumb for the amount of water that you need per day is about half of your body weight in ounces. So if you are not at that level, that's a great goal to work yourself up towards. So half of your body weight in ounces is the minimum that your body requires to do all this stuff. Keep in mind, with the half of your body weight in ounces, if you're drinking anything with caffeine or alcohol, those are diuretics, which means they take water out of your system, so they dehydrate you. So any amount of caffeine or alcohol will cancel out some of the water that you drink. So say you drink a cup of coffee in the morning and you drink a cup of water right after that, they cancel each other out. So you're now back at 0 ounces of water. So just keep that in mind. Actually a lot of people say to me, does coffee count as water? I guess just thinking because you brew it with water, but it actually has the exact opposite effect. So if you're drinking coffee or tea or things like that with caffeine in them, thinking that they are a substitute for water, it's actually quite the opposite. So if you are not at a half of your body weight in ounces of water per day, consider bumping that up, or consider setting that goal for yourself to work up towards that amount. Another thing I hear people say a lot is, oh, I hate water, I don't like the taste of it. Try doing something like squeezing fresh lime or lemon juice in it. Doing things like this, the sparkling water it's naturally flavored, there's no sweeteners or anything like that added to it. So instead of using fruit flavored waters or waters that have a little bit of flavoring to them but they're still calling it water, maybe try something like diffusing natural fruit or lemon juice or lime juice or things like that in place of those artificially or flavored or sweetened waters. All right, next we are going to move to exercise. So exercise for me was always it was a big part of my life, but I was a very competitive athlete throughout my younger years, and I got to the point where I had just burned myself out, and I just was not interested in doing anything exercise related. I was a runner for a lot of years, and I just got to the point where I couldn't even, it was just miserable to even think about going outside and running for whatever reason. So I was like, well, okay, I'm done, I'm not going to run anymore. And that was it. But then I didn't do anything. And I was like, well, this isn't good either. So anything can be considered exercise. I just quit everything. This was 10 years ago. But then I finally decided, I need to start incorporating something back into my lifestyle. So I went through about a year or two period where I was just trying out different things and finding something that I could get excited about again. And eventually I did. I found CrossFit. I really loved doing weightlifting and functional type fitness, and I fell in love with that. But not everybody's into that. You have to find something that you love to do and something that you can get really excited about. And then your workouts, your exercise doesn't feel like exercise. It just feels like you're out doing something that you love to do, and you're getting a great workout, and it's benefiting your body at the same time. So make a commitment to do something physical every day. If I say to myself, oh, I do CrossFit, and if I don't do a CrossFit workout, then I haven't accomplished any workout for the day. That's not true. I did plenty of other stuff, throughout the day that I consider exercise. So, running down to the end of the driveway and back 4 or 5 times with my kids to help them get energy out. That's a workout for me too. You know, running the bases around the ball field at the end of the game with the boys. That's a little bit of a workout for me too. So you don't have to do the same thing every day, but find something you enjoy and something that you can really that you can get excited about, and make that part of your exercise and your lifestyle. Another thing is commit to doing it for a certain amount of time. Commit to doing something for a certain amount of time. They say it takes about 21 days to create a new habit. So if you say, I'm going to try and work out I'm going to try and do some sort of exercise for 21 days, if you can stick to it for that, you can probably do it for the rest of your life. It's that initial hump, you know, talking yourself out of it and making excuses and all this might not feel good because my muscles are sore because I haven't done it for a while. If you can get past all that, you've really created a habit and you've really like made that shift in your mind that, okay, now this is a part of my lifestyle. This is just something that I do now. And just to reiterate, find ways to incorporate physical activity into your existing routine. For example, when you go to Walmart, park at the back and walk up to the front and walk back to your car. Do you do that? That's a great idea. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. You know, all these little things that we get used to conveniences, but sometimes, like, they're not the best thing. You know, sometimes we could take the extra 2 minutes and take the long way, or you know, whatever, and work this exercise into our day a little bit more conveniently. So, any questions? All right, next is sleep. So, sleep also has a lot of functions in the body. Some of them are things that we notice, like happiness or mood and things like that. Some might be things that we don't really even think about, like detoxing, weight loss, pain management. Research shows that getting good sleep decreases inflammation within your body. It helps to speed up your body's healing process. A lot of healing happens during the deepest stages of REM sleep. So if you're sleeping but you're not getting a great quality of sleep, your body might be missing out on some of that opportunity of healing. Athletic performance. A study at Stanford found that college football players who aimed for 10 hours of sleep at night significantly improved in their speed and their stamina. You know, what busy mom and busy woman doesn't need extra stamina? So, weight loss. Well-rested people lose more fat when dieting compared to sleep-deprived people. A lot of that has to do with elevation of stress hormones whenever you're sleep-deprived, causing inflammation within the body, causing your body to be in a state of fight or flight where your adrenal system becomes very fatigued. So sleep has, you know, a very far-reaching impact on our overall health. So find a sleeping position where you get the most comfortable and the best quality of rest. Some people say to me, oh, I'm in this crazy position when I sleep, but that's the only way I can get sleep. That's okay. I think that the position is far less important than your quality of sleep. So if you're in a crazy position but you get a great quality of sleep, fine. Don't change anything. If you are trying to change your position to be, you know, to maybe keep your head more neutral, or, you know, take some of the stress off of your lower back, but you just don't get a good sleep that way, it's not worth it. So find a position that's comfortable for you, that you can get the best quality of sleep, and stick to that position. When choosing a pillow, consider your sleeping position, meaning do you sleep on your side, do you sleep on your back, do you sleep on your stomach, because all those things matter and they do make a difference when you're choosing a pillow. People ask me a lot, how do I choose the right pillow? The easiest way to do it is to try out different pillows, but know your sleeping position. So you want to basically try and keep your head as neutral as possible. You don't want your head bent from side to side. So if you're a side sleeper and you're on your side and your head's like this, you probably don't have enough pillow. You would need a little bit more pillow to get your head back to that position. If you're on your side and your head's like this, you probably have too much pillow. On your back, you're going to need probably less pillow, like a flatter pillow. You only need to fill that space between the head and the back of your neck. So when you're on your back, if you notice your head's flexed like this, you probably have too much pillow. If your head's extended, you might need a little bit more pillow. So that's probably the easiest way to check. Everybody's different, so I can never say like, oh, this is the pillow you want, because every person is totally different and you're just going to have to find one that works for you. But that's a good guideline to kind of check yourself when you are looking for pillows. Try using a pillow between your knees. If you're a side sleeper, when you're laying on your side and your knees are together, it puts a lot of pressure on your hips. So that pillow between your knees kind of keeps your hips separate and takes a lot of the stress and a lot of the extra tension off of that area. So that's something to consider if you're on your side and you just feel like, oh, I wake up and my back hurts or my hips hurt or whatever. Maybe try that modification and see if it works for you. And then once you find something as far as sleeping that works for you, stick with it. No sense in changing things up if what you're doing seems to be working fine. All right, next we're going to talk a little bit about spiritual health. So spiritual health is it's probably something a little bit different for everybody. My spiritual health encompasses prayer and meditation and just a lot of gratefulness and just a positive attitude and all those things in my mind kind of are in that spiritual health category. So I read a really interesting article recently about some studies that showed how gratitude literally alters the molecular structure of the brain. So just having feelings of gratitude can actually change your brain. Scientists are discovering that having an attitude of gratitude changes the molecular structure of the brain, keeps the gray matter functioning, and makes us healthier and happier. When you feel happiness, the central nervous system is affected. You're more peaceful, less reactive, less resistant. And that's a simple and very, very beneficial way to nurture your well-being, to nurture your quality of life. So gratefulness is an excellent way to kind of enhance and nurture that spiritual health. Wake up each day with a grateful heart and identify at least one specific thing that you're thankful for. Even consider starting a gratitude journal to keep track of the things you identify each day. If you write down one thing a day, as your list grows and you can read through those things each day, your gratitude grows. And that positivity on the inside, when you're full on the inside, it comes out and it affects everyone around you. Also try things such as creating a relaxing and peaceful atmosphere in your home. And that's something different for everyone. Some people enjoy setting the tone with music or media that inspires you. People like to fill their home with people or things, that surround them and make them feel loved and important and valued. So just these little, changing our perspective or changing the way that we view things can make a massive, massive impact on overall health. So this one is one that I'm personally going to challenge myself to, is the gratitude journal. I really want to. Are you too? Awesome. Yeah, I really want to. I've at different times thought, oh, what a great idea that is. But this time I'm going to commit to that. So I'm going to do a 30-day gratitude journal, and it's going to be a little experiment with myself, and I'm going to see in 30 days how I feel, how I wake up. I just feel like it's going to set the tone for my day by waking up and just starting with that positivity, and that's just going to help, catapult me forward throughout the rest of the day. So I'm definitely going to give that a try. All right, next we have relational health. The relational health is what I would consider health of, who you surround yourself with. Who is your tribe? Who do you include in your circle? And always try to include people in your circle that you can learn from, and then people that can learn from you. So surround yourself with people that that know more than you, or can teach you things, or are very skilled or talented in some area that maybe you aren't. And you can really have that synergy and that gaining something from each other type of a relationship. And strive to be the best version of yourself, and you will attract people like that. Like we just talked about with the spiritual health. When you're overflowing on the inside, that comes out of you. So what you put out there is going to attract. You're going to attract that same type of positivity and that same type of support and encouragement if you are putting that out there as well. Take time to make yourself a priority so that you can show up better for others. That's a nice thought. I love it. And then I'm thinking back to that article that I read at the beginning, and I'm like, okay, some days that might not happen, but if we're being more strategic in how we're thinking about doing these things, it might be easier to incorporate self-care. If you consider chiropractic to be self-care, and you come here to get adjusted once a week, not only are you getting some chiropractic portion of the whole health picture, but you're also getting relational health, and you're getting that interaction, you're getting the positivity from the environment. So some of these can be like cover multiple areas in that in that total picture of health. And also keep in mind too, in cultivating true healthy relationships, it's also important to set boundaries. To know what your deal breakers are, to know, what you're willing to do, or how far you're willing to go for a person or a situation. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. Look at this list of all this stuff that is demanded of us. We can't say yes to it all. And it's not selfish to not say yes to everything. So keep that in mind too. Healthy relationships do have boundaries, and they have to be mutual relationships. It's very draining and very exhausting to be in a relationship with someone that isn't kind of giving the same as you are. So just something to keep in mind too. Surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and thinkers, but most of all, surround yourself with those who see greatness within you even when you don't see it yourself. That's a nice tribe to have. People that know your value even when you are feeling like that value is not there. All right. Number 8, this is our final category, personal development. I love this quote from Mark Twain. It says, "Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection." This always hits home with me because I'm the type that I'm kind of a type A sort of person. So I'm like, well, if something is not perfect in my mind, I do all this creating in my mind, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to implement it till it's all just set to go up here. That's ridiculous. I don't know why I do that, but are you? Yeah. So I love this. When I read this quote, I was like, I need to probably read that like every day, multiple times a day, because yeah, that makes total sense. Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. Like, this stuff up here is not going to come out till I think it's perfect. I might as well be working on stuff incrementally, little by little, than waiting till I think I have it perfect and ready to go. So set goals and write them down. That can be something you do throughout life at any time. Make your goals specific and time-bound, and break goals down into smaller targets to make them more manageable, or to motivate you along the way, along that journey. And then review and update your goals periodically to reflect your changing priorities. So if something changes in your lifestyle and maybe some of your previous goals aren't so relevant anymore, they can be dynamic. Goals should always be changing. It's all about you. So, it's about developing yourself, making you the best version of yourself. And that looks different even from different seasons of our lives. What we go through as young mothers is totally different than what we go through raising teenagers and what we go through, later in life. It's just different seasons of life. There are different requirements or different demands on us during those seasons. So goals are dynamic and they're always going to change. But once you reach your goals, set more. It just gives you something to constantly work through. That personal development is it's a journey. It's a lifelong process of, just constantly improving and constantly moving forward. So, for more tips and info related to this, I do have an ebook called Moving Forward, 8 Essential Steps to a Fresh Start. You can download it right off of our website, but it has a lot of the information that we touched on tonight. It also is packed with, some other additional tips and resources and things like that. Great citations for some of the research articles and stuff that I cited. So if you're interested in diving in a little bit deeper, feel free to download the ebook. It's right on our website. But other than that, girl, you totally got this. Any questions? Yeah.
It's not really a question so much as like kind of an addition in general, but to the next to last slide about like self-care and like learning how to set boundaries and surround yourself with people that like support you the way you support yourself. I see, like, even just working here, I see it outside and it's my life too, but so many, especially women, feel guilt for allowing themselves to take 20 minutes to do one thing for them. Yes. And I want to know how we can better break the stigma around that, because it is so true. If you can be better for yourself, you're better for everybody else. You're not burnt out, you know your boundaries, and that's so huge, because then people can't walk all over you and you don't, again, burn out. You can say, you know what, I just can't do that tonight.
Yeah.
I just can't do that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's
And I told somebody else that too, who was all upset that people weren't taking care of something, but I said, people that said no to you did that to take better care of themselves, not just screw you over.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, and I don't know if there's a way that we can erase that stigma. I think it just happens within each one of us.
Yeah.
If we are grounded and confident and, look, this is what I need to do for myself, because I have such a demanding life, because my life requires me to be so present and so on the go and so just on all the time, what do I need to do to make sure I'm prepared for that? And yeah, and I think
that put down sometimes, but I have teenagers, so sometimes I just have to say, are you gonna die from this? Mommy, I need to go to the outlet mall and get a new shirt tonight. That's not, no. If you need to go to the ER or something, okay.
Yeah, totally different story.
Sure, I don't care. Sometimes you just have to take what you need.
And then you go to raising your parents.
Yeah. And that's a whole new
See,
season
that's
of
been my
life.
stress level for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
And I mean, we do it because we love who we are caring for, and we as women, we're nurturers. We're our number one advocate for our children and for our families, and it's just in our DNA to be I don't know, we're just wired to take care of people and to make sure everybody else is good before we even think about ourselves. But that kind of backfires on us at times, when we have those days where we're I can't talk to anyone or I'm going to burst into tears and cry. It's a real thing. So you have to just in your own mind identify okay, where am I willing to compromise? Because I am not willing to scream at my kids and have a meltdown because I'm stressed out. So it's just a matter of finding yeah, what your deal breakers are and what your non-negotiables are, and it's probably a little bit different for everyone, and it's a little bit different for, yeah, from day to day, literally. So,
One of the guys I worked with one time told me the difference between men and women goes back to the caveman. He said, women are gatherers. They look out. They're always checking and looking. He says, men are hunters. They're focused. This is what we're on. He says, you women are bring everything in. We do this. And I went, oh, that's pretty good.
that's pretty accurate. I even think like the brains are wired a little bit differently. I don't know like details on the neurology, but they say like men's brains are compartmentalized and women have more of this like broad network where, so that's why we can do things like multitask and, you know, all this stuff. You guys can think about like one thing and they're super focused, like they're like hyper focused on that one thing, but like, you know, throw something else in there and it's just like, okay, now I'm hyper focused on this.
How many ratio of men to women there? And that's exactly why, because it requires a lot of multitasking.
Yeah.
I've worked with primary men for the last 30 years. Trust me. They have one way of doing it, and like, oh, guys, I love the pain.
Yeah. So we're wired differently, and therefore our needs are different, and the way that we have to, you know, the way that we have to support ourselves and support our health and do things is just, you know, it's just requires like thinking about it from a different perspective. You know, if I'm going to continue to be this person for everyone, I need to make sure that I'm my best so that I can give back.
It helps me have a partner that looks at me and goes, honey, you cannot pull this off. You have to do something different. I was determined. I was doing Thanksgiving one year and I was working 16-hour shifts. Funny when it is, you can't do it. It's just not happening.
Yeah. And there's times where you hear that and you're probably like, watch me. But other times you're like,
Get your butt
you know
in the
what?
kitchen.
You're probably right.
I did cave on the Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We do it.
Yeah, sometimes it takes seeing things from an outside viewpoint to like make you realize it's not necessary.
What's that?
That's a great question. Massage is very complementary to chiropractic. Massage is dealing with the muscular system, and chiropractic is dealing with mainly the skeletal and nervous system, and some with the muscular system too. So, one thing that that massage really helps out a lot with is just kind of like retraining, maintaining the muscles. So, for example, if things in your spine have been out of place for a long time and they get used to being in the wrong position, your muscles have now trained themselves to hold things, or have been trained to hold things in the wrong position. So where massage can come into play is when you do start getting adjusted, the massage can help to kind of reset those patterns and help start retraining those patterns. As far as a wellness type of approach for massage is chiropractic is dealing with the structure of the nervous system, massage is dealing with the muscle part. It's always muscle, bone, and nerves, like they all work together. And so chiropractic is just dealing with 2/3 of those things, and massage is kind of taking care of the other 1/3. Yes, and you get more out of the massage that way. If your body's not fighting against what they're trying to do, you'll get much more benefit. Any other questions?